Okay. So for us, the clarity is a very important tool, and we cannot read to anybody if they cannot understand the text that they are reading. So I started to see all the different way to determine if something is easy or not, but that only says small phrases, small simple terms, and with that you could make a very simple approach. But we said yes, but sometimes you use words that are not so common in the normal language to transmit an idea. So, because we have a classroom between Jose Maria and I working in different ideas, we decide to make a trial with the students that read an entry of the Glossarium British and say is clear or is not clear. And we ask different aspects of that paper. So the students read it and started to analyze if the definition of the term is clear or not. And because we have several different students, they read different entrance, and they decide which one they wanted to clarify, to show if it's clear or not the definition. So in any of this, we wanted to have at least 3 persons reading the same test and give a clarity order. Because, yes, it's not only a mathematical tool. You need a person reading it. For example, Isaac don't work because Isaac understands everything. Sonia knows everything. Jose Maria could understand almost everything. But a person that don't knows anything about these terms, about these definitions, could understand or not. So we have several different tools that we asked to the students several ways to be clear if they understand or not. And we have a clarity factor here. So, in that way...
Juan, sorry, may I interrupt a little bit in order, because I think I want to give a bit of a broader picture to show what we have done, because it starts like a step, a previous step. There was a previous step. Actually, when it in January, we were already discussing what to do for clarifying the corpus. So that was the problem. So how are we going to clarify the corpus? Our purpose is having some qualification in the corpus. And we can introduce, for example, middle-ek, and this is something we are doing. So we have all the content, we have make it interoperable so that we can change it with middle-ek. So this is what we are working in to make it even more efficient in that respect. But all those are syntactical measures. So objective measures just based on how the text is. And this is what previously Juan Romero and Cus has been showing us. So we can use that. But our purpose is also what Juan was explaining, is to see that is really understandable for a person. So in order to do that, we need some users who were capable to determine whether our corpus is clear or not. And our first step was something that Juan was not telling, is that we meet together. Well, it was Sonia, Carolina, Isaac, and Juan and myself. We meet together in order to create a training. So we train the students. So this is the first part. And we train the students in order to say, so what are the problems with information clarity? So what is the definition of information clarity according to the standard? So what are the main components of information clarity? And one important idea in the ISO standard is that despite we can do all the objective measures we want to do, which are syntactical, in the end, something is clear if it is understood by the people, and if it is useful for the people, and if they can use it, they can understand it, and it is structured in such a way that they can understand it easily, and that it does not reduce the complexity. So they need to know that, and then we in the training, we of course check also what was their capacity, what was their understanding in what is clear. So for that, we use the training. Pitfully, we didn't finish. This is something we have to do because we cut it in the half. so we with Sonia and we did the first videos. But then we still have a part. But with that, we also use some artificial intelligence in order to facilitate the training. So then we train the students. With the training of the students, then we ask the students, okay, can you acknowledge clear communication? So we make a test. With that, they already have a qualification. We divided the corpus and took among the corpus, we took one of them that is more diverse, because we have several. So yesterday we were talking about the encyclopedia, about the diccionario, the glossarium vitri, and the Principia Cybernetica. Among them, the one that is more diverse, even though it is smaller, is the glossarium vitri, because there are more authors that come from different cultures, different knowledge domains, and they don't have such a strong linkage between the understanding of one concept and others. So that's something that Danny will show tomorrow. So then we decided to focus on the glossarium vitri articles. So we would have then a qualified corpus for them. So we said, okay, we need to take a number or a sufficient number of testing by the students, so that we have the grading. We use the grading, how well they acknowledge clarity. We make that the students, 3 students, qualify the same articles. So that we have long articles and short articles. So in order to make that the work is not is well distributed, so they have to choose either two smaller articles or one large article. And the number of participants, Juan, it was like about 60, I think. About 60 participants. They could have been more, but it was like around that. And with that, they I don't know the number of the articles they finally qualified. It was how many?
Qualified around 20. with 3 different lectors, 3 different persons, and several of them with only 2.
Okay, there are other with 2, but in the case that we can also use that, because we will also use the other measures. So then what Juan was showing is the result of the qualification by the students.
Yes, and for us, that is the reference, because the machine don't understand. If you talk with a chatbot, with ChatGPT or Gemini, they don't understand the words. They only understand the matrix, but they don't understand what language you are using.
Or what is it talking
Irony,
about?
yes, irony, they don't understand, because they never use sarcasm, irony, or something like that. Actually, the chatbots don't understand. And we use several times and talking with them. So for us, probably a definition in the Glossarium Brevity from, if we read it, because we know the term, we already use, we have several examples, for us, it's very easy to understand. But for anybody that is learning right now, that don't have all the knowledge that we have, they could understand. So all the mathematical calculations, all the length of the phrases, all the length or the complication of the terms, that the machines could do it, but understand the meaning of it, we need a human.
So and with that he was showing, our next step, and this is what we have already done. So we have a synthesis of what they have provided in their qualification, and our next step is, okay, now we need to cross that to compare with what, for example, Middle Lake is telling us, or other metrics. So I don't know. We don't know. So we wanted to present in order to ask you. So how do you see the process? If it makes sense. So I think Sonia and so Jorge, Ana, they may have a clear idea of the whole workflow and how it should be implemented. So we have done those steps. We have requested, so we have trained it. We have requested, so the students, after reading. By the way, there is another step I haven't mentioned, is that after they have qualified the corpus, they also have to clarify concepts by themselves using the same corpus. So using the Vitrum corpus. So they already know the corpus, and afterwards they clarify. So for that, the training is also useful, because they need to create a clear communication, a clear text. So our question is, if you think that it makes sense, any recommendation? So that's what we would like to know. If anyone has listened.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. The other day, Juan Lobos and me, we were talking about how to evaluate how to create the questionnaires for the users after the clarification task. And we detect that in a previous evaluation, we mixed the questions related to the use of the platform, the web platform, and the clarification task itself. So I think this is very important to distinguish when the users, they having problems. If they're having problems in the clarification task because they are not understanding the concepts, and or maybe they cannot, they are not able to clarify the concept. This is one one point. If they are having problems in the clarification task, or maybe they can have problems using the web platform for the clarification task, which is a different idea. So where's the problem when they are having when they are clarifying the concepts? And the third phase of this problem is when they are not understanding the concept itself. Not the clarification task, but the concept itself. So I think it's a good idea to distinguish when I don't know how you're doing the training to the users, with the users, but it is very important to distinguish between these three steps or these three kinds of problems. Yeah,
it is very different. Maybe because you didn't know our previous step. Maybe you are mixing, because actually a month before, what I'm talking about is a previous month. So we did in the previous month, that started in April. Then we did this training, the training for what is clear, and then they have to go to the corpus and then validating the clarity of those texts, like external qualification.
Okay.
So they don't make any contribution. And in May, by the end of May, is when they already when that's already done, all those qualifications, is when they go to the platform, they interact with the platform in a more interactive way, because they have to clarify. So because they were already more used to the platform, they already know the corpus, so it facilitates the combination of both tasks. And in the second is the one that in which we are testing the user experience. And so the kind of questions is completely different. So we never talk about what have we what did we request to the students. So what we request to the students is about the syntactics, the words they didn't understand, whether they could find them easily, whether it was well structured. So they have to qualify it according to 4 dimensions. And finally, to give some ideas of how should be changed according to what they have learned from what clear communication is. And then they also gave a metric from 1 to 4 regarding that.
And one question is, are the users having the access to the middle leg results or not?
No. They that was something we would have liked. That we wanted to have the objective metric, but we didn't have the time to implement that. In any case, so maybe in the next semester, this is something we can do. We already have for the corpus we have selected, but it was too late when we got access to the middle leg. It was too late in order to go through the middle leg to the articles we have selected. So then directly we say, okay, then we can do it the other way around. We just ask and then we see. And by the way, I don't know what is better, because you can ask first the machine, or you can ask first the understanding, because in the end you have a bias. So if you already read the middle leg, say, okay, it's already telling me that the sentences are too long. It has so maybe it creates a bias in the identification of the. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think we need to test that because you're right, actually. I think we should use evaluations with the following different ways. The first one, using a classic clarification task without middle egg, and the other using middle egg, and to compare the results. But yes, you are right, because middle egg is just focusing in the by now. Because yes, we have just focused on the linguistic components of the sentences and paragraphs, but this is not the only thing that we need to focus when we are clarifying the text. So of course you're right. Middle Lake is just providing one automatic tool to one of the parts in the clarification task.
Yeah, when we were doing the training, we exemplified with somebody's speaking. Then you try to measure the speaking, but what the ISO standard, what is saying, don't worry so much about the measuring the speaking, because what you need to check is what happened with the ear, so with the head of the other. So what is really what is the reception, the final reception? Okay, so we need to keep on working on that. So if Sonia, you will tell us maybe when you are more focused in another occasion, because it's not. Okay. In any case, so thank you, Anna.